Hey fam, so I kind of want to talk to you today about how you're going to probably experience different situations in your life when you're part of a community, when you're in exile, and when you're just on your own path, trailblazing, being a maverick, and going for it. And how it's okay to be nervous with every change you get. Some people get really nervous when they're in a crowd. Some people, they're always looking for the exit. They want a conversation to be over quickly, Once they get too many people around them, they kind of, are more antisocial. Some like to be the butterfly where they are always, on the wall. They're always around. They're always talking to people. And when they are exiled, they break down, right? Then there's the exiles who go on their own way and they use that opportunity to heal themselves, to make themselves better, to know what it's like to exist without a community, without any support, and to not be in a sort of circle jerk, self-masturbation type of rambling consciousness, right? Both of these examples, all three of them essentially, are something that you're probably going to go through in your life at different stages. This is something that a lot of new mothers go through. I don't know about Muslims, but I would say for non-Muslims, they are always with their friends that are women sometimes, if they're more the social butterfly and have a little bit more loose ethics. They're in their group, they have their little girlfriends they go out with. Some of them might be doing bad things, and they're loose, they're not very honorable ladies. They're kind of like bed jumpers, binge drinkers, credit card debt type of people. And when you get pregnant, they will abandon you because you can't go binge drinking when you're pregnant. Hopefully not, you don't do that. But they really ditch you because now you're going to be a boring mom, and you yourself, your body is going to go through changes. You are not going to really want to do that stuff if you have a sort of good motherhood gene in you. I mean, I've seen very awful women drinking beer, sitting on the porch while they're pregnant, and smoking cigarettes, and it is heartbreaking. But better women will change, and first-time mothers go through a sense of isolation where they feel like, why am I not the pretty one anymore? And then they might start to feel resentment for the baby. So I want you to know that in your life, you may be the belle of the ball. Other times you may be the black sheep. And other times you may be the nerdy hermit, or, the forager on your quest. And that's okay. And you have to roll with the punches. And you have to know how to adapt. Because right now you may have a current that you are pretty adapted to, right? You're pretty got it. Something can happen that Allah Azawajal can put in your path, and you are kind of knocked off your flow, and you're kind of stumbling about. You don't know which way to go, and the people who you thought were your friends are not going to be there to pick you up. And maybe someone who you never thought was your friend is. And sometimes only Allah is going to be there. That's why Tawheed is important, because in times like that, you're going to have Allah Azawajal as a very good wali, guardian. So be prepared for those kinds of things that Allah Azawajal is going to throw at you. Be adaptable. Think of Moses, Musa Moses, may Allah be pleased with him. He literally was a baby in the Nile, raised around alabaster stone, around power, to later be amongst the slaves. and then later to be under the watchful eye, very closely, of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he had to go through different kinds of pressures. He didn't know in the beginning, when he was 10, 11, maybe playing with frogs in the River Nile, throwing rocks at a crocodile, having fun. He didn't know who he would be, who he would have to lead, whom he'd have to turn on. But he had to do what had to be done. So you, like Moses, I'll be pleased with him, might have to do the same. And now, in the digital sphere, that can happen to you as well. And on a much more psychotic scale. So, know that the mob today loves you, the next day they could have your head on a spike and tossing rocks at you. So, understand the fickleness of society in general, but even more now when we have a sort of mental psychosis of fickleness, of very short attention spans, of addiction to wow factor, and lust and neglection of nuanced and fair open discourse. Such environments of heavy censorship and agenda-driven narratives instead of open knowledge-seeking. This is a very difficult environment for many people. So, whether you're at work and you start to be yourself and they turn on you, and whether you feel like you must break away from whatever group in order to tread your path, whatever it is, know Allah is with you. But don't think because you're in the group that it's permanent, and when you're the exile, don't think it is permanent. Only paradise is going to be permanent for us. This world is temporary. So don't put too much emphasis on the bonds you have with certain people. The hand-filled amount of people who care about you is pretty much all you should care about. You do your best to help everyone. Lead by example. But it doesn't matter if 5,000 people get upset with you. They'll all forget within 2 weeks and move on to the next thing to get outraged about. So, don't break your back over crazy people who don't even know what you like to have for breakfast. They probably are on Ritalin. They probably have so much mess in their lives. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be focusing on you. So know that at work, your college classroom, wherever you face your opposition, keep going and roll with the punches and be ready for whatever status you're given. When you're up on the peak, beware of the fall. And when you're on the bottom, be ready for the climb. Because what goes up must come down. And some don't know how to land the plane. Not every cat falls on their feet. So be wise and know that your attachment to Allah is pure Tawheed energy, focusing your mind on the Maker, excluding everything else. You, your children, and Allah. That perfect union, that can help you to outlast much and to be able to travel in any circumstance.